So welcome to part 3 of the Discipleship Group workshop. And we're going to talk about why do we pursue discipleship in groups. Why have we always been saying discipleship groups, DGs. And so the first question is, does discipleship need to happen in groups? The short answer is no. So then why are we promoting discipleship to happen in groups? And the short answer to that is because it's better. If we look at Ecclesiastes 4:19 and 12, it reads, "Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, and has not another to lift him up. Again, if two lie together, they keep warm, but how can one keep warm alone? And though a man may prevail against one who is alone, two will withstand him. A threefold cord is not quickly broken." And so that was Ecclesiastes 4:19 and 12, which very plainly says, it kind of sucks when you're on your own. Man, two people is really better than being one. If you're alone and you fall and you have no one to pick you up, then woe to you. Having 2 or 3 other friends with you is really key, because groups give you that support system you need for your walk with God. And that's what we're going to base our advice to really pursue discipleship in groups. Practically speaking, these are brothers and sisters who are going to share with you, give you advice, pray for you, and keep you accountable for what you're going through in your life, how are you pursuing God, and what you're doing. Why is being alone really a problem? And that's because when we're alone, there's a big tendency to not even be aware of what we're doing and whether it's wrong or right. We tend to sort of curl up in our own little bubble, and we believe everything that we do is fine because, I just feel like this is right, so I'm going to do it. We really have no gauge to tell whether what we're doing is right, whether it's good, whether we're wasting our time or making good use of it. So we just have this tendency to assume that what we're doing is right living, and so we're just going to continue on in doing that and never change. And that's a problem, because as Christians we aren't called to live for ourselves. We are called to live for a greater purpose. So to help keep ourselves on track, we do have our brothers and sisters. God specifically made us to desire companionship and relationship for a reason. And on that same note, we can't just join a discipleship group and expect growth because, we're part of a group and this is what God tells me to do. The ultimate heart to pursue God just comes from within you, as we're talking about in part 1 or part 2. You have to change your mind and really have a desire to pursue after God. But groups are there to keep you accountable to that and to help you in that process. Another question that may come up is, how is a discipleship group better than my fellowship nights when we meet up together? And the answer to that is that it's not. One is not meant to replace another. You're not meant to just go only to a discipleship group or to fellowship. The difference between the two is that with a discipleship group, you're with one other person, 2 or 3 other people, and it really allows you to get personal, because in a smaller setting with fewer people, you're going to be able to share, you're going to be able to pray for one another for specific things that are going on in your life, which you can't really achieve in a fellowship setting, which has different purposes. I'm not saying that a fellowship is bad. But a discipleship group will really allow you to dig in deep with your brothers and sisters and yourselves and what you're going through, what they're going through, and really overcoming those issues and growing together. And so if you really are looking for intimate and deep growth, being in a discipleship group will really help you achieve that, because you have brothers and sisters who will help you for what you're going through, and you'll have the time to specifically dig into certain issues. So that's the end of part 3, where we talked about why we really encourage people to be in groups when pursuing discipleship. The food for thought for this part is that to think about, when's the last time you made a monumental change or commitment to God in your life when you were the only one around or in the room. And compare that to how about when you had brothers and sisters around to support you with that decision or with that commitment. Thanks for watching part 3. Be sure to tune in for part 4, and we're going to talk about what actually happens practically within a discipleship group. Thanks.